Ladies and gentlemen, we are here back again on the Trump campaign trail. I'm Daniel McCaughan for Fox News Radio, 1180 AM, WFYL, working for your liberty. We are in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, and we're surrounded by Trump supporters. As you can see, these ladies are actually also part of the volunteer contingency that's here helping out. The room is absolutely electric. Donald Trump, moments from now, going to take the stage. Governor Christie, who has recently been appointed as his transition chairman. It's going to be an exciting night, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you, why did you decide it was important to come out and volunteer for Donald Trump?
Because I wanted to do what I could to help a man that I believe will do what he says for America. Because I have a father that was a career Marine and a son that put in 11 years as a Marine, and he's been very good to the vets before he even thought about running. And I know that's one of his things for his platform. So I believe in what he says, and I believe he'll make our country secure again, and that's one of the things that is most important to me.
Are you excited to see Donald Trump tonight?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, moments away, you're going to see live, coming to you from Lawrenceville, New Jersey, Donald Trump, Governor Christie, right here. Stay tuned. Don't go away. It's going to happen in just a moment. Stand by. I'm Daniel McCaughan. This is WFYL, Fox News Radio, 1180 AM, working for your liberty.
I think we're all ready to see the next President of the United States, aren't we? I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I want to thank you for being supportive of me and Mary Pat. We're thrilled to have 3 of our 4 children here tonight. Andrew and Patrick and Bridget are here, and Sarah sends her best as well. I'm glad to have all of you here tonight. It's a great crowd and a great tribute to what the Republican Party has done here in New Jersey and how we're going to help elect a Republican president this November. More than any time in recent history, America needs strong leadership again, both here at home and around the world. And I am confident that leadership can be provided by just one man, Donald Trump. We see events going on around the world that scare us. We know that there are people out there that want to hurt America and Americans. We need a strong president who will fight back and defend America first, and I'm confident that that person is Donald Trump. We need an economy once again that is growing jobs, that can open doors for families. We need a government that understands they need to get off your back and out of your pocket. We need a government led by someone who has actually created jobs and met a payroll, and that man is Donald Trump. As I look out at this crowd, I see the thing that he has brought to every enterprise he has ever led in his life. He has brought greatness to every enterprise he has ever led. I see your hats, he's going to see them too, and I am confident that he will make America great again. And I know that New Jersey on June 7th, on primary day, with our votes and our delegates, are going to be the people who put him officially over the top as the Republican nominee for President of the United States. And I want to thank you, and I want to thank you for being here tonight to help to support us. You know, in the end, Donald and I ran against each other for a little while. And then after New Hampshire, when we left the race, Mary Pat and I sat down and had a really serious talk. Do we want to stay out of the presidential race from there forward? Just let nature take its course, whatever happens, happens? Or did we want to do something that was going to make a difference? We've been friends with Donald Trump for 14 years. We know him well. And I said to Mary Pat, we never, ever make a mistake by standing with your friend. And Donald Trump is my friend. So nearly 3 months ago, he and I walked into a room together in Fort Worth, Texas, and shocked the world. I announced my endorsement of him for president, and there were all the skeptics and the critics at the time who criticized my decision. Well, they could come and meet the next president of the United States with me. And New Jersey Republicans are once again proving, if you want the Republican nomination, get the support of the New Jersey Republican Party, and Donald Trump has it. So, me and Mary Pat and our family, we are thrilled to be here tonight. We are thrilled to be supporting our friend. We've got about 6 months to go, everybody. Just a little bit less than 6 months till we change America by electing a new president, getting rid of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. I can tell you this as someone who's been on a few debate stages in my life, that I know that Hillary Clinton's worst nightmare is going to be to climb onto that debate stage in September and look across at Donald Trump. We don't need more Washington, D.C. insiders messing up this country. And we sure as heck don't need Hillary and Bill Clinton back in the White House. We do not need the same type of ineffective foreign policy that she brought us as Secretary of State. We don't want America to be weak and disrespected. We want America to be strong and respected, and Donald Trump will make that happen. And we certainly don't want someone in the White House who's going to be more worried about being charged by her Attorney General than by protecting the people of this country. We need a president who is going to put America first one more time. So ladies and gentlemen, you have waited more than long enough. On behalf of Mary Pat and the children, on behalf of the Republicans in New Jersey, let me bring you the next President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Chris paid off his entire campaign debt tonight. His entire debt. And Chris, you can't even give him a table and a seat. That's terrible. But he's a great guy and he's a great governor. And I will tell you, thank you, I love you too. Look at these guys. You know, I wanted to know a little bit, because he's been my friend a long time, he's done a great job and all that, but I said, let's be specific, because we want to be specific. So I said, give me some information. And boy, do I look forward to debating Hillary. Will that be fun? Oh, I look forward to that. So I said, let's be specific. So, you know, Governor Christie, your governor, balanced the budget 6 times without raising taxes. Not easy. Enacted a $2.3 billion job-creating tax cuts. I mean, that's a lot of stuff. $2.3 billion, not easy in New Jersey, that I can tell you. He shrank the state government by 6,500 jobs. Governor Christie, listen to this one, bipartisan. There's no such thing as bipartisan anymore. It's a beautiful thing, actually. Economic Opportunity Act will ultimately create 27,000 jobs, 22,000 in the construction industry. A lot of my friends are here tonight. We're all in the construction industry. Governor Christie contributed more to the pension system than any other governor in New Jersey state history, right? Governor Christie brought the insolvent, and this was important, the insolvent New Jersey Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund back to solvency. And I will tell you, it was done in at least 2 years ahead of schedule. So that's a pretty good track record, and that's just a few of the things, all right? That's just a few. So we've had an interesting time. And you know, it all started, and Chris was out there, and I was out there. And I have to say, one of the more interesting parts was I was watching the debate, because I had one debate that I really enjoyed, because I was watching. And I like Marco very much, but Marco was over here, Chris was over here, and I was standing there. And I watched it happen. No, I watched it happen. And it was, I mean, he looked like Perry Mason that evening. That was a rough evening for Marco. And Marco will admit it. That was a rough, rough evening. So this began. There's nothing like New Jersey. There's nothing like New Jersey. Oh, wise guys, so many wise guys. I'll tell you what, you can make it in New Jersey. You can do just about anything you want in life. Great people. And by the way, on June 7th, will you do me a favor? Go out and vote, please. Okay. And boy, are we going to go out in November, that I know. But go out on June 7th, folks. So, on June 16th, that's right, we're going to build that wall. The wall's going. We want the wall. You know, Hillary, you talk about Bernie Sanders. Bernie. Look at him. I love this crowd. Isn't it great? It's my people. This is my people. But Bernie Sanders said that Hillary really isn't, essentially not fit to be president. She's not qualified to be president. You know why? He said because she suffers from bad judgment. So today she made this statement. You know, she won't use the term radical Islamic terrorism, you understand? She refuses. You know why she won't? Because her president won't use it, that's why. And by the way, is she being nice to him? You know, she used to be terrible. She couldn't stand him, and the husband couldn't stand him. Bill couldn't stand him, and she couldn't stand him. I wonder why she's being so nice. Can you figure it out? She's being so nice. She didn't like him one little bit. Now, anything he said, my president said. But if you think about it, and if you look at it, he said unqualified. And he said that she suffers from bad judgment, and she does. So today we had a terrible tragedy, and she came up and she said that Donald Trump talked about radical Islamic terrorism, which she doesn't want to use. She used a different term, because she doesn't want to use that term. She refuses to use that term. And I'm saying to myself, and it's a terrible thing, and he essentially shouldn't be running for office. He doesn't have the right to run for office. And I'm saying to myself, what just happened about 12 hours ago? A plane got blown out of the sky. And if anybody thinks it wasn't blown out of the sky, you're 100% wrong, folks, okay? You're 100% wrong. And it's getting worse. And you know, today I was watching one of the networks, and they had this great guy from the FBI on. And he was talking about what happened with the plane. It was like amazing. And I didn't know. I never met him. I never saw him before on television. And he's going back and forth about how bad it is and how bad it's getting and how we're losing control and how we don't have a president that knows what he's doing. And then at the end he said, let me just tell you something. Now, I don't know this man. He said, the person that knows what's going on, the person that understands what's happening, is a guy named Donald Trump. you're sitting home, you're watching television, you have this man who's a real expert. He's an expert on exactly this and an expert on terrorism, and he says that, and that really to me is a great compliment. So, on June 16th, I came down that escalator, that beautiful escalator in Trump Tower. Trump Tower, this is very nice, but it doesn't remind me of this place. And it was a big day, and I just said we have to do it. There's so many things that we can do to make America great again, and we're never going to do them. And if Hillary Clinton gets in, I don't know if our country can ever recover. You know, yesterday I named a large number of judges, and I'll be adding to that number, who are really highly respected judges. They come out of Heritage, they come out of different groups have recommended very strongly. They've really recommended strongly, and these are great judges. We'll be adding some additional ones, Chris, and it's outstanding. One of the most important things, always security first, right? Always security. But one of the most important things we'll be doing, whoever the next president is naming judges. Now, it's probably naming the justices of the United States Supreme Court, because they're going to take us in a certain direction. It's either going to be down the tubes, or it's going to be through the roof. I'll tell you, through the roof. And the judges, the justices, and some of them are currently judges, I guess almost all of them are currently judges, but the justices of the United States Supreme Court, the next three, it'll be three. It could be five, by the way. Probably going to be three, most likely 3, 4, and it could even be 5. That is a massive number of justices. So whoever wins, and it looks like it's going to be Hillary, because it looks to me, what's happening? She's got totally embroiled in this. You talk about bad judgment. How bad a judgment is the email scandal? How bad? For what reason did she do that? Now, I know the reason. And it's always the same with her, and it's always the same with them. But I know she's a liar. No, I've used that one already. I can't use it. I'd like to use it again, but I have to. No, we'll go crooked Hillary. Okay. Crooked may be more accurate, actually. But she's probably going to get out because, I mean, you know, they keep letting her. What she has done is so much worse than what anybody else running ever has done. What anybody else, you look at all these people, General Petraeus, you look at these people, they've done a tiny fraction of what she's done, and their lives have been destroyed. Their lives have been ruined. What she has done, for her to be able to continue to run is an absolute disgrace, in my opinion, to this country. A disgrace. And on top of that, you know, it's an amazing thing. Every time I turn it on, I watch the race. Bernie Sanders wins. Bernie Sanders wins. He keeps winning. And then they have the round table. Well, Hillary Clinton will win. I mean, it's like, it's a rigged deal. You notice the way I started talking and using the word rigged, right? About 4 months ago. Nobody used the word rigged. Now everybody's calling it rigged. They copy my, I want to go out, I want to have that phrase coined. But I used the word rigged 4 or 5 months ago. The Republican deal was rigged, 100%. Now, what did I do? You had to win by massive numbers. And boy, did we get massive numbers. We did well. You know, I had by far the most delegates. And I came into New York, and everybody said, well, New York and everything else, but the people of New York, they love me, they know me. It's nice when the people, and you know me as well as they know me. I mean, you know how many employees right now I have? I am paying so many people, I have so many employees in New Jersey, I hate to think about it, I have to be honest, okay? I am taking care of more education and more salaries and more health care than anybody, probably, Chris, than almost anybody in New Jersey, right? But honestly, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy. We have great people. New Jersey, let me tell you, New Jersey is a great state. It's a state where we have truly great people. Truly great people. So I came into New York, and we didn't win by a little bit. We won in a massive landslide. We won everything. And the nice part is, they know me the best. You know, supposing you go into a community and they know you and you don't do well, that's not a good sign. They know me so well. They have seen me for so many years. They're probably sick of me, but they said I'm still voting for Trump. And what happened, so I got 62%, and we just knocked them, and it was great. Okay, now I go into Pennsylvania, great place. Connecticut, we're going to do great in Pennsylvania. We have our chairman over here from Pennsylvania. He's here someplace. But we go into Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Maryland, Delaware, and Rhode Island. We win every single subsection of every single state. We won every county of every state. And we won every state by massive numbers. And don't forget, I got 66 and 67%. Don't forget, I have 3 people running. When these guys on television, the most dishonest human beings, these people right here, look at all the... Donald Trump, I watched Krauthammer. We got like 7 or 8 people, 9 people running, okay? Donald Trump did not get 50%. How do you get 50%? Sometimes I have, we started off with 17 people. And actually, after about 2 or 3 weeks, because I won New Hampshire, which was amazing. We're going to take care of those people in New Hampshire. They have a drug problem that you wouldn't believe. They have heroin pouring over the border. We're going to seal up that border. We're going to build a wall. We're going to have real protection. We're going to do it for everybody, but we're really doing it. The people of New Hampshire are, it's incredible. It's incredible. What happened is, and what's happening here in New Jersey, the drugs are pouring across, illegal immigration, illegal immigrants are coming. We are going to stop it. We're going to build that wall. It's going to be a real wall. And we're going to have people come into our country, but they're going to come into our country legally. Okay? So I went through the next week. I win New York in a landslide. Then I win the 5 states in a land. And then I'm watching and I'm hearing that I got, something a little bit less. And actually, every one of them was over, but I should have done better. And I said, wait, you have all these people. And then I go to Indiana. That was going to be the firewall. And I went there, and we won Indiana so big. And everybody just, you know what they did? Chris knows. They gave up. They gave up. That was the end. And we had a little help. There was a man named Bobby Knight, okay? Bobby. We love Bobby. And we had Lou Holtz, and we had Digger, and we had a lot of people. We had a great coach from Purdue. We had a lot of great people that really supported. But when Bobby Knight, who won 900 games, our people, fire all of our people, move to Mexico, make their air conditioners, and sell them right across the border, no tax, no nothing. Guess what, folks? Not going to work that way anymore. Not going to work that way. Now, I'm a free trader, but I'm only a free trader if we make good deals. You can't be a free trader if everybody else, these very conservative ideologues, they say, well, Donald Trump is not a free trader. How about Jeb Bush? Donald Trump is not a conservative. Who cares? I am a conservative, but who cares? So somebody asked me yesterday, tell me, well, are you a free trader? I said, yeah, I'm a free trader, but here's what I am. Here's the story. You want it defined? Actually, it was Sean Hannity last night. Here's my trade. Nice guy, right? Do we love Sean? Here's my trade deal. They said, what about it? I said, here's what we're going to do. My trade deal is very simple. Here's what it is. I am going to make great deals for our country. That's my trade deal. Very simple. We're going to make great deals for our country. You can call it free trade. You can call it 15. You can do whatever you want to call it. We're going to make great deals for our country. Might be free, might not be free. I can tell you this. When Carrier and Ford and Nabisco leaving Chicago with their big plant, they're moving to Mexico. I'm not eating Oreos anymore, you know that. But neither is Chris. You're not eating Oreos anymore. No more Oreos for either of us. Don't feel bad for either. But I'll tell you what, folks. There's got to be consequences. When they move, there's got to be consequences. Now, I've watched for 6 years as the United States government, on a federal basis, United States government worked very hard on documenting. They want to loan money to companies. They want to give them low interest loans. Some companies actually took the money and then they moved anyway. Who does these agreements? But they want to come up with ideas. So here's my idea. It's not an idea. It's so simple. And they worked on it for 6 years. In the meantime, you look at New York, you look at New Jersey, by the way, you look at different parts of this country, what NAFTA has done to us, signed by Bill Clinton, by the way. Signed by Bill Clinton. It's the worst trade deal, in my opinion, in the history, certainly of the history of this country. One of the worst ever, and it's going to be repealed, believe me. It's going to be changed. It's going to be repealed or totally renegotiated, probably repealed. Probably repealed. Probably. So here's what we're doing. So Carrier moves, right? And we'll say, hi, Carrier, how you doing? How's everything? I got to make the call myself. Chris, am I allowed, as President of the United States, am I allowed to call the president of an air conditioning company? May I? He said only one time. It'll only take one call. Because my wife would say, don't do that, you're the president, but it's so much fun for me. So I'll call the head of Carrier, and Ford, and these others. And I'll say, let me just tell you something. You've let go of thousands of people, and you've left, in this case, Indiana, and Chicago, and all of the different places, right? And Michigan, which I'm going to win Michigan. We're going to win Illinois. We're going to win Indiana. We're going to win these things. Because I've been talking about it for years. These other guys, they start talking about it, and believe me, it's not going to work for them. Not going to work out so well. But we're going to win Michigan big. You watch what happens. But I'm going to say to them, you want to move your plant, enjoy Mexico. It's a wonderful place, beautiful weather. I hope you like 120 degrees. It's wonderful. But here's what you're going to do. Every unit you make that you sell into the United States, you're going to pay a 35% tax. Okay? Very simple. Now, here's what's going to happen. Now, some conservatives would say that's not free market. I mean, we're losing our shirts, folks. We're losing our jobs. We don't have a choice. So here's what's going to do. If I saw a Carrier before they move, in other words, I want to get in there quickly because I'm going to call them fast. They haven't moved yet. But before they moved, I'd say, you move, enjoy yourself. You're going to pay a 35% tax. They're not moving. They're not going to move. It's very simple. They're not moving. Now, if it's too late, they move, I'm charging these companies some tax because you know what? We're getting killed. We're losing all of our jobs. We're losing everything. So at least the United States is going to make a hell of a lot of money. And what do you think? And these dummies say, oh, well, that's a trade war. Trade war? We're losing $500 billion in trade with China. Who the hell cares if there's a trade war? Trade war. It's crazy. Think of it. $500 billion and they're telling me about a trade war. And you're not going to have a trade war. Two things are going to happen. China devalues their currency. That's how they're killing us, okay? They devalue their currency. They're behaving very, very badly. And on top of that, they're building fortresses in the South China Sea and they're doing things. Let me tell you something. China will behave and China will be our friend and we'll do better with China under me. And we're going to also do better economically with me. They're going to respect our country again. I was told just yesterday by a very important person that China is very concerned about Donald Trump being elected. Because you know why? Because they're going to have to pay up. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to do so. And I will say, look, a lot of you don't know the world of economics and you shouldn't even bother. Just do me a favor, leave it to me. I have so much fun. But don't just go and enjoy your life. But China is killing us, and so are other countries, with devaluation of their currency. And they're making it impossible for our companies to compete. And they're doing it more than ever and worse than ever. About 9 months ago, they did a devaluation that they weren't supposed to do. It was the biggest devaluation in 20 years, okay? The biggest devaluation in 2 decades. Not going to happen anymore, folks. They make it impossible for us. It's not going to happen anymore. And when companies move, different situation, and they want to move to a different place, or they want to move in particular to Mexico, which is becoming a mini version of China, we're going to be friendly with Mexico. And I love the Mexican people. I employ thousands and thousands of Hispanics, and I'm doing great in the polls. And by the way, the Hispanics love me. You know why? They're here legally. The Hispanics that are here legally, they don't want their houses taken away. They don't want their jobs taken away. That's why I'm doing well with the Hispanics now. And we're doing great with the African Americans because they know I'm going to create jobs. I'm going to bring back jobs. We are not going to be the stupid country anymore. We're right now, folks, believe me, we are viewed as the stupid country. We're like a big, sloppy bully that gets punched in the face and goes down. You ever see a bully get knocked out? It's a terrible thing, unless you're doing the punching, then it's okay. Okay. But just so you understand, we're going to change things. Okay. So we're going to make great trade deals. We're going to have tremendous borders. And we want people to come in. They're coming in legally. We're going to have the wall. We need the wall for the drugs. Just recently, 2 weeks ago, 16,500 Border Patrol agents endorsed me. And I called them. And I said to them, frankly, because these are great people, they are told to stand back. These are great people. They want to endorse me because they want to do the job. They're fantastic people. And they can do a great job. But I said to them when they endorsed, I said, I have to ask you one question. Do we need the wall? You know what their answer was? Mr. Trump, we absolutely need the wall. They told me. I just wanted to be sure. I said, because I said to them, I want to build a wall, you have to tell me. Who knows better than the Border Patrol? I mean, that's what they do. They walk the border up. They said, Mr. Trump, you absolutely, it's another tool, and there are other things, but you absolutely have to have the wall, Mr. Trump, but it's got to be a real wall, not a little toy wall. They put up these little walls. So we're going to build, see that ceiling? That ceiling is peanuts, folks, okay? That's it. We are going to build a wall. If they ever get up, they're saying, oh man, how do I get down from this wall? And we're going to make it beautiful, and we're going to make it big, and we're going to make it powerful. And we're going to rebuild our military, because our military is being decimated. Did anybody see the big piece that was on television all last week, where our fighter jets are going to junkyards to buy planes? This is the United States, right? We saw it. Where our fighter pilots and fighter planes, they're going to junkyards, where they have the junkyards for the old broken down planes, and they're stripping the planes apart and putting them on our 20-year-old fighter planes. And we're like a third world country, and what we do is we're ordering planes, and other countries are ordering planes that are modern, clean, beautiful, and we got stuff where we're putting junk back on our planes, and we're putting our pilots in there, and they're taking planes and they're stripping other planes that are on the runway because they can't get the planes to work. So they're using essentially 60% of our fight. And I'm saying, is this the United States? Is this our country? So we're going, Obama doesn't care. He can't care. He can't care. He can't care. So what we're going to do, our military is being depleted at a time where we need our military probably more than ever before, right? We are going to have a military that's going to be so big and so strong and so powerful that nobody is going to mess with us. Just remember, nobody. And as part of that, and to me very important, we are going to take care of our vets, because our vets are being treated badly. We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare. Obamacare is a disaster. We're going to terminate Common Core, and we're going to have local education for your children. We're going to preserve the Second Amendment, which is under siege. And we are going to make America first. You know, there's an expression. We don't make America first. That's why we have all these bad deals. We have these negotiators. First of all, they're political hacks. They shouldn't have the job. We're going to use we are the greatest business people in the world. We're going to use the greatest business minds while we negotiate with China and all these countries that rip us off. We're going to use the greatest business people in the world. You're going to see a difference like you've never seen before. And when we defend all these countries in NATO, I'm all for NATO. But you know what? We have a lot of the countries in NATO, they're not paying us. They're supposed to be paying us. They're not living up to their deal. You know, in the old days when I used to collect rent in Brooklyn, I'd say, yeah, they're delinquent. You know, the word is delinquent. They're back. They owe us a lot of rent. Okay. They owe us money. They're delinquent. So we're going to say, got to pay. So we're defending them. They're not paying, or they're paying a fraction of what they're supposed to be paying. Do you know the kind of money we're talking about? Now, we defend Japan. Most people don't even know it. We defend Japan. We defend Germany. We defend Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, before the oil, before the drop in oil, and now don't worry about it, they're making a lot. They were making $1 billion a day. Would you like that for New Jersey, Chris? $1 billion a day? We get practically nothing, folks. And they wouldn't be there. And I have so many friends there, Saudis, they buy my apartments, you wouldn't believe it, okay? They're great, they're all great. We cannot be fooled any longer. We cannot be taken advantage of any longer. We are going to make our country rich again and strong again. We're going to be able to afford Social Security and Medicare again. I'm the only one that says that. We're not going to be led down the tubes by an incompetent person like Hillary Clinton, because you look at what she's done. You look at what she's done. You look at her deal with Libya. Just take a look at Libya. It is a catastrophe. By the way, you had the Benghazi, think of what? Think of Libya. Do you know they have some of the finest oil in the world? You know who's got the oil? ISIS has the oil. ISIS. This was her deal. And so many other mistakes, and I have a whole list, but I'm not going to do that because we're having too much fun. So let me just tell you, folks, I've gone all over the country. I've seen millions of people at my events, if you add them up, millions. We have the biggest crowds by far bigger than Bernie, far bigger than anybody. We have the biggest crowds. He is second. And I think what happens, I believe that his people, a large percentage of his people, vote for Trump. You watch what's going to happen. Because the one thing he's right on is trade. I mean, he's got that right, except he can't do anything about it. We both have the same view. We're getting ripped off on trade. The difference is I'm going to make him great deals as opposed to just saying we're getting ripped off. That's all he can do. So here's what we do, folks. We're going to make our country absolutely great again. We're going to start winning. We don't win anymore. We're going to win on our military. We're going to win for our vets. We're going to win on health care and on Common Core. We're terminating. We're going to win with our education. We're going to win at every single level. We're going to win with that trade. We're going to win with the border. And we're going to win so much. You guys, we're all friends, right? You're going to call me. And you're going to have Christie call me. Maybe Mary Pat would even be better, because I think maybe she'd be better. And you're going to say, Donald, the people of New Jersey cannot stand you winning so much for our country. They can't stand it. Could you stop winning so much? It's driving them crazy. And I'm going to say, Mary Pat, I won't do that. We are going to win, win, win. We are going to make America great again, greater than ever before. And we're going to have a lot of fun. And we are going to be respected as a country again. So I want to thank everybody. I love you all. I love New Jersey. June 7th. June 7th. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Take a trip tonight into your dreams with Trip Tonight.